welcome back to the Breakdown Tech. Today I want to be talking about exactly what an IP address is. But before we get on to the video, be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more awesome content exactly like this every single day of the week. Also, thanks to Private Internet Access, also known as PIA, for sponsoring this video. If you don't want people to know what your IP address is, the best way to take care of it is by using a VPN, and Private Internet Access is an incredible VPN for less than $7 per month. They're the cheapest I've been able to find, but their quality is amazing. I literally use them myself every single flipping day. So if you want a high quality VPN, go to thebreakdown.xyz/PIA. First link down below to get the best VPN out there. I'm not just saying that, I actually believe it because I use them, so go check it out. Again, first link down below, thebreakdown.xyz/PIA. What exactly is an IP address anyway? Well, the IP part of IP address stands for Internet Protocol, and the address part refers to the actual number itself. Every single device connected to the internet has an IP address. Every single one of them. From your smart fridge to your Amazon Echo to your computer, every single thing on the internet has an IP address. And just like when you would mail a letter, right? You'd write an address on it, put it in a mailbox, and that address allows it to get to the right location. Well, IP addresses basically work in the same way. Computers use the specific IP address unique identifier to make sure that data is sent correctly and to the right places on the internet. If IP addresses didn't exist, data would be going every which way and it wouldn't end up in the right place. IP addresses are the unique identifiers that we need to be able to make sure data gets where it's supposed to go. Now, most networks today use the TCP/IP protocol to communicate with all the computers that are connected to the network. In this protocol, the unique identifier is called an IP address. That's where this term originates from. It originates from the TCP/IP protocol that is basically used everywhere on the internet today. It's kind of what makes the internet run at this point. Now, there are two different standards for IP addresses: the IPv4 address, which stands for Internet Protocol version 4, and the IPv6 address, which stands for Internet Protocol version 6. All computers that are connected to the internet have an IPv4 address, and most modern new computers are also using the IPv6 protocol whenever they can. It's pretty cool because computers can actually use both and still work correctly. IPv6 is newer and better, but IPv4 is still used quite frequently, and it will be for quite some time until there's mass adoption everywhere. Most routers are used for a very long time, and because of that, it's pretty hard to change the internet protocol running everything. Now, here's what the difference between the IPv4 and IPv6 standards are. The IPv4 uses 32 binary bits to create a single unique address on the network. An IPv4 address is shown as 4 numbers with dots separating all of them, right? 192.168.1.1, for example. Right there is an IPv4 address. Each individual number up there is the representation for an 8-digit binary number, also known as an octet. Now, what about an IPv6 address? Well, an IPv6 address uses 128 binary bits to create its own single unique address on the network. So as you can see, quite a big jump from 32 binary bits to 128 binary bits. That improvement is huge and allows for better security and more long-term use. All sorts of benefits come from the IPv6 over the IPv4. This IPv6 address is expressed by 8 groups of hexadecimal numbers separated by colons. Basically that. Now, as you can see, that has a lot of zeros. And because it has a lot of zeros, anything that is just full of zeros is usually left out, meaning the shortened version would actually be like that. Much better, but still not great and still kind of hard to read, but that's kind of the point. It keeps things more secure. Me and you really aren't supposed to read those. It's for computers to read. It's the addresses that computers use. And identify technology. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Computers like numbers, and because of that, the bigger the better, and the bigger the more secure. So that's basically what an IP address is, but how does your computer come up with these IP addresses? Well, an IP address can either be dynamic or it can be static. A static static IP address is when you set up and configure yourself by editing your computer or your network router's network settings, right? You're going in there and you're setting it up. You're entering the information to get your IP address working correctly. Most people will never deal with this. The reason most people will never deal with this is because if you don't have a pretty good understanding of the TCP/IP protocol, guess what? You're probably gonna mess something up. And that's the thing, this leaves a lot of margin for error to mess things up. And that's why dynamic IP addresses are used 99.9% of the time these days. These dynamic IP addresses are assigned using the Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, also known as DHCP. And this DHCP service runs on your router or on your ISP's DHCP server. And it happens without you even knowing it. That's what's cool about this. It happens without you even thinking about it. And these IP addresses are actually leased to you for free, obviously, but they're leased, meaning they can expire. When they do expire, your computer will say, hey, can I renew that? And if the answer is no, and it'll typically be no, say your computer's off, say you've switched routers or internet service providers, that would be an example of when it asks to renew and no, you can't do that. And when that happens, you'll get a new IP address. Like that, like magic, without you even knowing it, without you even thinking about it. And that overall is the greatest thing about dynamic IP addresses. They just work. You don't have to think about them, they just are working in the background. And that's the best thing about all of the stuff that runs our internet. Most of us don't think about it on a day-to-day basis, IP addresses included, but at least now you know what an IP address is and how you get yours. So nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more awesome content every single day of the week. I love making these videos. I hope you guys love watching them. My name is Nick. Again, this has been The Breakdown. I am out, guys. Peace.